Hi folks, hi modellars. I'm back again. So I'm gonna give you some of my updates on my USS Kitty Hawk CV63. So as I think in my last update, I think I informed everybody that I'll be closing up the inner bay together with the top deck, but unfortunately again I failed to do that. It's taking me longer than I thought, but anyway, what took me, I think it's been about 4 weeks, a little bit less than 4 weeks. So what happened was, initially I thought that these aircrafts can be put in from all the hangar openings, but when I tried it with the tweezers, I think it is too difficult to do that. So what I had to do was, what took me quite long was, I had to build all these equipment decks and paint the planes. So I've completed this set here, which is the carrier deck equipment. Completed it, painted it, weathered, and then there was some, I did not complete the entire aircraft sets, but I just built those that I wanted to put in, and I have as usual, I have to paint, decal, weather, and that's what it's been taking me so long. So I think you can see here, this is the layout that I'm gonna be putting the aircrafts in the hangar bay. And I think for the arrangements, I'm not so sure about how the aircrafts are arranged in the base, but the arrangement that I have here is actually in the position that will be best viewed from all these openings from the sides. So it's probably not the actual arrangements, but realistically, if I arrange it in the way it's supposed to be, probably there's a lot of things that you won't be able to see when I actually close up the top, and when it can only be seen from the holes. So this is how I arranged it so that the aircraft can be best seen from the openings here. So that is why you might notice some empty spaces here, like here, which you can't see anyway, because the holes are only from this side. And another thing which I did, I'm gonna give you a close-up. Another thing which I did was to put in a lot of these things here. Okay, I'm not sure what these things are supposed to be, but maybe things like, like spare parts, tools, whatever it is on the, inside the deck, just to make it look more realistic. If I have just the planes, I think it's gonna be a bit bland. So I just had the idea to put in, for example, like, you know, things like shafts. In fact, these are all, you know, optional things which some leftover from other models. But it's just to make it look as if the hangar bay looks busy. And from photos, usually they have a lot of I don't know, like boxes, maybe for weapons and things like that. So this is my arrangement, and so you can see that I have quite a good view of the planes and like forklifts. From the whole, okay, let me just zoom in here. So it's gonna look like that. So I decided to upload this video and call it part 2.5 because after I close this, I think nobody can actually view this anymore. Not, at least not from the top. So probably this will be the last scene before I closed it up. So that's my arrangements. And I had to actually glue all these planes and all the deck equipments. Some of them I had to super glue it, some I just use some regular glues. And I flipped it upside down to make sure that nothing's gonna fall off when I'm working on, you know, other sections of the ship. And seems like it's holding on pretty good, and I hope it doesn't come off, because if it does, I'm gonna have a hell of a time putting back, you know, the planes from these holes here. So okay, besides that, I've already attached all these side decks. I think you can see there's a lot of railings, and for the there's 2 decks here. So the side decks here again, and there's a lot of decks here at the back. Okay, so something I noticed, you know, I've seen some builds on this, and the way they built it is totally different from the way I'm doing it. In fact, they will stick all these side decks without painting it, without the railings, and just paint the entire ship in gray. So I'm sure later, I don't know how they're gonna do it, because they will have to actually mask when you paint the decks black color. And the railings, if I look at, you know, like here, I don't think this is even possible if everything is already glued on to the deck, to the hull, because there's a lot of railings like that goes in. But I'm sure maybe they have a way, or you know, they're much better than me. I'm not so good. So my sequence would be complete all these decks as it is, then glue it in. That's the way I do it. And also, just for note, after these decks are sticking, since there are these kind of grooves for for the parts to stick in, there will be a gap there, and that's the painful thing to actually clean up. Like maybe I can have a good example here. Basically, I used a very thin plastic cards, cut it into a really thin piece, and just try to stick it in. And then later I'll probably have to touch up on that. It's just to cover the holes. Maybe some parts are not so visible, but this one is. And I had some issues with this part and this part here, because when I glued these two pieces to the hull, this piece was actually, since it's a long piece, here all the way up to here, I think there's some warpage when you glue this top piece and the bottom piece, so it doesn't have a good fit, and there was a huge gap here, which actually I put a round beam there just to cover up, and there was some gaps over here which I covered it with plastic cuts. So maybe my advice would be, when you're doing this piece, you can actually before the top piece and the bottom piece is glued, you might as well just stick it to the hull first, so that you make sure there's no gap, and put in this piece. That might work, but I'm not so sure. But I've already built this piece before, I've already glued it shut, so there was some warpage along the way here. But anyway, it looks okay. So this is the entire hull, and yeah. So after this, I'm going to, these are all the parts that is gonna go after I put on the top deck, and it's all gonna fall in. So it's all ready to go. So I'm gonna be doing this, and hopefully when I get the top deck shut, I'll put on another update, and I'm targeting maybe hopefully within 2 weeks. I apologize for making everybody wait for 4 weeks for each of my updates. So all the railings here, you can see there's a lot of railings, and I've done every railings here except for one, except for this piece here. There's gonna be railings along the way, along the edges, and the reason why I can't do that is because I ran out of these. I just bought one piece, and apparently it wasn't enough. So if you're building this, maybe you should get 2 or 3 of these. So I placed an order, so it hasn't arrived. I'm not sure when it's gonna arrive. So, but anyway, this last piece I can just leave it out first, and I can start doing all these big pieces to the hull. And if you see here, there's even a railing there at the bottom. I'm not sure if yeah, there we go. So there's a lot of these small sections that you will have to put on the railings like that. Not sure why it's not focusing. Like that. There. So all these pieces will come together after this towards the hull, the bottom. And then another thing, I did manage to paint the top deck over there, if you can see. Yep, it's painted. So I will probably move on to these steps to complete the deck. Then maybe the last step would be the island. So after I stick on all these parts, I'll update again, and then when I complete the island, I will update again. So maybe there should be another few more parts to this video. Hopefully I will get that done soon. The thing about these updates, I know I'm spending maybe like 4 weeks for each updates, but I've seen somebody building this particular model for a year and a half. So, but you know, some people can actually do it in 3 months. So it depends. And I don't get to spend too much time on these. I get to do it on the weekends, but weekdays is a bit tough. When I'm back from work, I'm just too tired. I think my eyes are too tired. I can't really focus anymore. So I'm not really working on it on weekdays. So that's my pace, my speed. I hope you'll be patient with me, and definitely I'm gonna finish up this one. There's a lot of videos I've seen on YouTube also. They have like part 1 and then it disappears. So I'm not sure if they complete it, but I promise this is gonna be done. It's not gonna miss out anything. I'll probably have some hiccups here and there, but you know, hopefully nothing that I can't manage. So anyway, the update for this time is a bit short. I'm gonna come back with part 3 with all the top decks glued shut, and yeah, I'm gonna close this piece up here like that, so that we can't see this anymore from the top. So okay, until the next time. Oh yeah, there's another thing that I would like to correct some of my statements in my first chapter, which is I did mention about only trumpeter Tamiya. Revell is doing reboxing of 1350 modern aircraft carriers, but there is another maker called Mini Hobby Models. But Mini Hobby Models is also trumpeters, maybe budget line models, and they do have that CV63 Enterprise, but that models actually is a copy of the Tamiya's Enterprise, and I'm not too sure about the plastics, the moldings, but it's definitely not as good as Tamiya, and it's really dirt cheap. I think it's like $40-50 US, and I've seen it on the online shopping, especially here in Southeast Asia. It's really easy to get models from China, and it's cheap. Delivery is cheap. So yeah, so there is Mini Hobby Models on the Enterprise, besides trumpeter Tamiya and reboxing of Revels. and gallery models. So I hope my statement this time is correct. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this time. Hope to upload again my upload soon. All right, thanks for watching, and happy modeling. Bye.